Friday night. It's 9 p.m. and we are back here on
How to Ace Your Career.
So, guys, like you all know, we come here every Friday night to help you in some way to grow in your career, and especially for people who have been working for some time, called as mid-age professionals, people with 12 to 15 plus years of experience. Who am I and why am I here? What do I do? I'm Nutan. I'm a career and a life coach, and I coach mid-age professionals to grow in their career, to do well in their life. People generally come to us when they're going through a career stagnation, career transition, facing a toxic boss, searching for more work-life balance, looking for a promotion, a better job, and so on and so forth. And
I'm Dheeraj Bhatkar. I'm a career coach, life coach, and a business coach. Both of us put together, we create this company, ND Life Coaching.
yes, and today we are here on a very important topic, and that is something that all of us, no matter what our age, no matter what our profession, no matter where we live, all of us face, and that is
Fear.
fear. So, I would want you to think about a time in your career when your fear held you back. Did you miss on a promotion? Or the dream job just slipped through your fingers? Or probably you aimed to have a double promotion or climb the corporate ladder, but you couldn't do it because some fear stopped you. Fear can definitely be a powerful barrier, but today we are here to break through it.
And at the same time, I know a lot of people who have that fear of coming out of their job, that salary, and wanting to do something of their own, where they could have done wonders. That
Yes.
is a fear I know. We did it 22 years back. We took that step, we fought our fears, and today we are doing so well for ourselves. Okay, so that is primarily very important. The fear that is stopping you from taking that one step. I know a lot of people, they are so amazing in what they do. If they get on their own, they can do much better in terms of career, in terms of money, in terms of every aspect of life. But fear does not allow them. It takes years and then finally they give up. So today's session, we are going to make you go through three very important points. Number one, proven strategies. We are going to give you strategies that will help you to overcome your fears, and proven ones. Number two, how will you build an unshakable
Unshakable.
confidence? And third, practical steps to thrive.
But before we go into that, first let's understand what is fear. So, fear is a very natural emotional response perceived to threat or danger. When we expect something to go wrong, that is where this emotion comes. I remember while I was graduating, no, I think possibly in my MBA days. So, I would return back home late in the night at times, possibly 9:30, 9:45, and those times is a really long time back I'm talking about. If I'm walking on the streets and there is no one there, by default you feel someone is following you, and then you start pacing up your steps, and as you pace faster you feel that person is also following you, till you turn back and look and you say there's nothing there. That is what happens with fear. We start seeing things which don't exist, illusions of our life is what is fear all about. So let's try and understand some major causes of fear.
First, one of the biggest major cause is your past experience. A traumatic or negative past experience can lead to fear. For example, if you fall, let's say you fail to at your task that was given to you before. Now, whenever this task comes, because you have a failure in the past, you believe this is exactly what is going to happen in the future.
So, how many people failed once in maths exam or scored very little, and then it became a permanent thing? I am not good at maths.
Maths.
The second major cause is uncertainty and the unknown. Now, most of us would have experienced this at different points of time. Whenever there is a situation which is unpredictable or unfamiliar, that is where we don't know what to expect, and that causes anxiety, which not taken care leads to the fear. For example, starting a new job. So many people, they have stayed in a company, they've been there for 10 years, they've done well in those 10 years. But now it's time they're stagnating. But they just don't build the courage to move to a new company, because what would it be like? What would be the new company? Facing the interview after 10 years, what will I tell people? What if people come to know that I've applied for a job and I failed? How will I, what will my colleagues think about me? All kind of things, because I don't know what will happen in the new job, or probably I'll get a new job or no. It also happens when you move to a new place. Then, when you're making some major life changes, like from single to getting married, from moving one location to the other location, from
Absolutely.
married to probably parenthood, all kind of different life stages.
Yeah.
When they come in, that is where we
Or
experience
even
fear
from leaving your job and starting something, even
of your own.
trying to start
Yes,
something of your own, it
absolutely.
gives huge fear because you've not done it and you feel I'm 100% going to fail. So that's why the third fear is fear of failure. Now, this is a fear which we all have, that fear of not succeeding, or what if I make mistakes? Oh my God. And also that, that लोग क्या बोलेंगे, oh my god, I don't know who these log hell are and where are they. This fear which so many people live with, that social pressure or your own expectations or your past disappointment. This fear paralyzes people to take on action, and that's why they try and avoid taking any kind of risk.
So, Dheeraj, I can relate to this fear. I remember in my school times, probably I was in my sixth or seventh standard, and somehow some people really drove me to participate in an elocution competition. Those time in school, it was called as elocution competition, which meant there was a topic given to you, you had to prepare, and on that day, you had to go on the stage and present your topic. Now, I somehow made it work. I wrote something, I don't know what it was. I tried rehearsing it, and the day I reached on the stage, I froze. I just couldn't utter a word. And believe me, friends, after that sixth or seventh, I don't even remember what standard, I finished my schooling, I finished my college, I started working. After working for probably 11, 12 years, I started my own business. I became successful. Till then, I never dared to attempt to stand on the stage and talk. Then, of course, this great person came into my life and I could fight it. But that is what fear of failure does. You just don't want to attempt
And
it
let me tell
because,
you, she spoke in front of 25,000 people on the stage for 2 hours. That's what we are talking here. Finally, fear of rejection or judgment. The fear of being rejected by others or judged negatively can lead to social anxiety or fear of public speaking, as she said. People may avoid situations where they feel that they will be scrutinized or they could be criticized.
then of course, fear is a natural biological reaction or response. It's a survival mechanism. It's linked to fight or flight response, which triggers physical reaction like increase heart rate, dhak 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 dhak. You can hear it, and there's an adrenal rush when you're faced with threat. Now, this also can be, most of the women can relate to this. Currently, there are parkings in the basement, second level, third level, and if it is late in the night and you're walking out alone and you're walking from the lift to your car, and if you don't have anyone, believe me, your heart rate is like it's throbbing and you can hear it. So it's a natural response, which is a good thing for us to understand
Yep.
how do we protect ourselves. So that is one reason why fear exists.
Then, of course, conditioning. Now, this is very important. Fear can be learned through conditioning. Like, for example, if someone repeatedly associate a specific event or object with danger or discomfort, like fear of the dog after a dog bite or fear of heights, the fear becomes ingrained over time and it becomes so huge that you get freeze. You don't even want to try it. That's what happens.
And then, of course, genetics and personality. Some people may be more prone to fear due to some genetic factors or some personality traits. Highly sensitive or anxious individuals may experience fear much more frequently or intensely than others.
Then cultural and social influence. Okay, cultural beliefs and social conditioning can also shape fears. For example, societal expectation around success, beauty, or behavior can lead to fears of not measuring up, for failing to meet those certain standards. You know what? You're just a housewife. Come on, give me a break. You're just a mother. That's a huge thing. You're just a teacher. That's a massive thing.
A woman means tick, tick, tick,
Oh
tick
my
figure.
God.
So, there are certain things around
Oof.
you, they are influencing you and setting you up to fail, and that is where you start becoming more and more fearful. Then, of course, there is fear of loss,
Yeah.
the fear of losing something important, whether it is health, whether it's your loved one, whether it is a job or a relationship, which can also cause anxiety and stress. And finally, it is about
Lack of control. Okay, when people feel they have little control over a situation, fear can immediately set in. This can happen in uncertain, like during economic downturns, health crisis, or when you're traveling in the plane. It happens that when there is a kind of storm or something coming, and after 10 12 seconds, we all start feeling dizzy. People start vomiting because you don't have anything in your control.
So, if you have faced any fears in life, I would want you to now tell me what is that one opportunity you missed because of any of these fears that we listed? One opportunity that you missed in your career that happened because of fear. I would like to list a few. If you have anything else, please put it in the chat box. If not, you can tell us which of these five you have missed because of fear. First, changing careers,
Or starting your own business,
or speaking in public,
or seeking a promotion.
or pursuing a passion project. For us, both of us, we, I think, have really done some wonderful job with our career. We have changed our careers. So, from moving from one place to the other, he's traveled all the industries. I've changed my career from first selling the loan side, then getting into investments, then both of us from leaving a job to becoming an entrepreneur. And then, when we are fully settled there, we both were running a portfolio management company, doing so well in life. And then from there, we decided to choose becoming life coaches.
Yes.
So we have done it all, we've experienced all of that. And that is why we know what is fear and how can we overcome it. Now, this is about career, but there are some fears you face in relationship as well.
The first fear that we face is fear of vulnerability. We are so tight all the time because we feel that if I'm going to expose my true feeling, then I'm going to be emotionally open with the partner there and I'm going to be judged. So I'm going to be close, I'm going to be tight. Because that fear does not allow me to open at all.
Then, of course, fear of rejection.
And abandonment. Okay, like for example, anxiety of not being accepted. Oh my God, this is happening with kids. Like I coach a lot of kids, the school and college, that fear I not be accepted, so I want to be a part of it. That fear is so high. Or being left by their partners. You are in any relationship,
Yes.
that's a
And
huge fear you live. What if this person leaves me? How will I live?
fear of being
Oh
alone.
my God.
So, so many women today I'm seeing experiencing this, and men at this age that we talk about in
Yeah,
their
yeah. Mid
40s,
40s.
worries about ending up alone or not finding a compatible partner. If you've not got married early, then this is a fear that shows up when you have touched your 40s. And then, of course, there is a fear of
being
conflict.
being alone, and then fear of conflict. Oh my God, this is something that it's a hesitation to address issues directly due to fear of confrontation of argument. That's a common word. जाने देना, बात नहीं करते, जाने दे, let it go, let it go, let it go, and you avoid because you are scared of conflict. And then comes a stage where you end up and then you realize what happened.
Then, of course, there's a fear of
Oh my God.
change, concern about changes that a new relationship brings in.
Yeah.
You have got married, that's great. Even if you know the person, when you get married and you come down under the same roof, it's absolutely so different than what you experienced before. Then, of course, there's fear of financial instability, worries about financial implications of a relationship, such as divorce, or once we get married, we'll have to share expenses. That also keeps people away from a commitment to a relationship.
And of course, in relationship, the fear of losing independence, freedom. There's so many people today I know, they are in their mid 30s, early 40s, not got married. They're giving 100 reasons, but the truth is they're scared to lose their freedom, their independence. So that's one fear.
And then, of course, fear of repeat patterns. Something that I experienced in the past, and I feel that is going to happen to me again and again and again. And some people do experience that, different relationships, but they keep experiencing that same negative
Yeah.
pattern because the challenge is not with the other person, it is a challenge about your own
So
fear.
true. Why don't you share your story? You have an amazing story you can share about fear, how you fought it and how you overcome it, and how did it. I would love you to do that.
So today I would like to, since we are more focused on career, today I would like to share an example from my life on how I overcame fear in pursuing a passion project. So when I first considered writing my book on how to move on from toxic relationships, a wave of fear swept over me. I found myself wondering, who will ever read my book? I've never written anything. I don't have any writing ability. What if I write something and people open the book and laugh at my work? That constantly haunted me, as if I was so famous and people who look at my face and come out to me, they don't know I exist. But while these fears came in, what happened? They became barriers and they ended leading me to endless procrastination. I kept thinking about it till one day, my dear husband comes and asks me, how is your book progressing? Oh my God, I didn't know what to tell him. But I opened up to him about my fears. And his response is what changed everything. It was really a pivotal for me. You know why? Because he said, write with the thought that if your book helps even one person, it's going to be worth it. Now, this I felt was achievable. Some one person definitely will find it worth it because I had helped people through this process. I had coached women to walk out of their toxic relationship through this process. So I was sure at least one person, and yes, even one life saved was worth it. So that motivated me to start writing. I started jotting down my thoughts, but I had never written. I don't know how to go about it. And thankfully, we all have this something called as YouTube channel where you just type and you start getting so many helpful videos. So I really went through videos from established authors on how to first bring in the topic to various chapters, how to structure my chapters. Once I did that, then I finished my thoughts. I reached there. I drew some experience from all these women whom I had coached through my coaching practice, weaving all these insights into my narrative. Once the manuscript was ready, I sought feedback from, of course, my greatest supporter, my husband, knowing he would encourage me. So the minute I showed him, he said, wow, it's so wonderful, it's so amazing. And I knew, but that is what I really wanted at that moment, right? Once he said it was wonderful, I reached out to one of my coaches, a food critic and a passionate reader, for editorial help. With guidance, then I finished my book, and then the challenge of self publishing. Oh my God, I remember going to this publishing company. They are not publishing it on the day I wanted. Then I said, no, I'm going to do it on Amazon. And I went through all the videos. I persevered. But guys, the day I had decided, that day my ebook was there. That was Dasera on that year. And 5 o'clock in the morning, my book was available on Amazon. But to my delight, the book resonated with many readers. I have sold around 1,000 physical copies and I have no count on the number of people who have read it on Kindle. But most rewarding are those 100 readers who contacted me to share how the book has impacted their
Wow. So
lives.
that's an amazing story. Yes or no? From fear, fighting, and today changing so many lives. So similarly, overcoming fear is a gradual process. It requires self-awareness. First of all, there's nothing wrong to be scared of something. If somebody says I'm not scared, then he's lying because only enlightened people are fearless. Others, we all have fear. Then mindset shifts and then practical actions. Here are some key strategies that we've been using it for us and hundreds of people we thought we're going to share with you. First, identify your fear. Understand what you're afraid of and
And why?
why. Is it the fear of failure, rejection, uncertainty, or clearly identifying the roots that helping it in addressing it.
So, like I said, my fear was, what if people laugh at me at what I have written?
Yeah.
Or probably I'm not a writer. Who the hell I am to really write a book? So, when you identify your fear, when you identify that root, that is where you can actually address it. Then, of course, the second is challenging your negative thoughts. Fear is often fueled by irrational or exaggerated thoughts. You know what happens? This will happen, and then this, and then this, and then this,
Totally.
and you actually end up imagining the worst possible circumstances that could happen to you, whether you're facing a illness, whether you're facing a job crisis, whether you're facing a relationship crisis. You will always end up imagining the worst that can happen to you.
So true.
But you know what you can do? Instantly reframe your thinking by questioning, is it really true? And I'm sure the answer will say, may or may not be.
Yeah.
That is the time to replace them with positive and realistic perspectives.
Then start small. So whenever you want to fight something of your fear, start small baby step toward facing your fear by breaking it down into manageable actions. Instead of I want to swim, so instead of going in the ocean, go in a small pool which is maybe 3 feet or 4 feet. Get yourself comfortable in the water, and then probably start learning and experiencing. It's a small thing. So what happens? You reduce the intensity of the fear, and slowly and gradually, being in the water, swimming slowly, so you build a confidence, and one fine day you can go and swim in the ocean itself.
Then, of course, one beautiful thing that you can do is visualize your success. So, the fear of unknown, the fear of uncertainty, the fear of what is going to happen, all of that can be sorted by this one thing that you can do with yourself. Imagine yourself successfully overcoming the fear and achieving the result that you want. Once you do that, your goal feels more achievable. Like I started visualizing that I've written the book, it got accepted by people, people are reading it, they're reaching out to me, and they're saying, thank you very much for writing this, it helped me. And believe me, that's exactly what happened.
Now, one thing that we've done for many years, we have built a support system surrounded us. So surround yourself with supportive people who encourage and motivate you.
And believe me, that's the most difficult thing in life today, because people are so engrossed in their own lives,
So true, so
that
true.
you just don't have time to think about someone else.
Yeah, and it could be your loved ones also, and that is why you need to have a mentor, a coach. Like we have a mentor for 30 years, we have coaches for almost 10, 12 years, we have a physical coach, we have a professional coach, we have a music coach. You need them, or friends to guide you through tough moments can make a huge difference in your life. So build a support system.
In fact, we have built a support system. We have built an amazing community where people, like-minded people who are wanting to grow in their career,
Yeah.
who are wanting to grow in their relationships,
So true.
have come together. And it's so beautiful when we hear the results, when we see how they're growing, how they're helping each other. It's really a wonderful, wonderful feeling.
It's a community that we have built. If you want to be a part of it, you're more than welcome. These are all people who have all challenges and fears, and how we help each other to grow. Then, of course, you can practice mindfulness or relaxation techniques. Techniques like meditation, deep breathing, or progressive muscle relaxation can help calm the mind and reduce fear driven anxiety.
So for me, every day in the morning, I practice my morning ritual, which is, like I said, visualizing my results, going through the
Priming.
gratitude exercise, which Tony Robbins calls it priming. I actually do Tony's priming, and we both have been doing it
Yep.
for 10 years now. And then, of course, we get into our spiritual practice. Both of us take 2.5 hours out every day in the morning. And because of all these things, there are so many things that we have accomplished. So, having a morning routine of physical exercise, of mental exercise, of emotional health, you have to do this if you want to overcome any kind of fear. And then, of course, it's very, very important to divert your focus and focus on what you can control. Fear often comes from feeling powerless or overwhelmed.
So true.
You have to shift your focus to the aspects of the situation you can control and take action in those areas. For example, You have just come to know you've got an illness. Now, instead of worrying on what could happen if this illness prolongs, that is imagining the worst, right?
Yeah.
You can think, what can I do today to probably maintain where I am and then to get better? And believe me, there is nothing in life. I mean, we all know Norman Cousins, one example where doctors didn't know what was his problem, but he could overcome that illness.
Yeah.
And there are so many such examples.
So true.
The minute you focus on what you can control, you'll find your mind relaxing and you're feeling much better.
Then you can embrace failure as a learning opportunity. I truly believe either you win or you learn. There's nothing called as failure, okay? So whenever you have a setback, there's something that you can learn. And when you learn from that, that's how you're able to move forward. So whenever you take a wrong judgment, that's how you learn how to take the right judgment. So similarly, it's like without taking judgment itself, you're anyhow failing. So better take a risk, better take a decision and learn from it. If it fails, good, great. If not, learn so that you don't repeat the next time.
And I think it's very important for you to give yourself permission to fail.
Fail.
Otherwise, you will not grow. Like I said, when I was writing the book, I knew there could be people who would say that I remember a kids' club commenting on me saying, the English grammar is not that good. I am not an English literature professor. I am someone who put in something that can help someone overcome this challenge in the relationship. And I'm so glad I did it. But if I remember that comment and I would have felt bad, probably I would have stopped. I would have not published my book. I would have put it down from Amazon and I would have never done the change what I've seen in the readers.
So true.
And the most important aspect above all is perseverance and self discipline. Dear friends, courage is not absence of fear, but it is doing it in spite of the fear. You have to persevere till you get the desired results. I remember times just sitting in front of the laptop, no thoughts coming to me. Sometimes feeling so burdened, this is also what I have to do, that also what I have to do. How will I have the time? But every time when I went through all of this, I kept pushing myself. I kept disciplining. Tony says this, right? Discipline your disappointments. That's the best discipline you can have. Self discipline, how you'll utilize your time. Today, I was talking to one of my clients who wants to move from a career of a job to start as an entrepreneur. And he was saying, I want all the freedom, I want to make the decisions. And I told him, that's really amazing. But you know what? That becomes the biggest challenge when you become an entrepreneur because if you don't discipline yourself, you just lose time. 1 year passes by, you start feeling nervous and you get back to a job. So, transformation takes place when you persevere, you discipline your fears, and at the end of the day, you build your self esteem. And probably you'll benefit many other ways. Like I wrote a book, not only me, my self esteem got enhanced. I am on the thing of writing my second book, and it's
No, there's
much
already
bigger.
two books done.
Yes.
Okay. One, two is already done, and the third book is coming. Now, both the books have helped so many people, and I'm sure the third book is going to help millions of people because what she's writing is so amazing. So the point is that not only that her self-esteem has boomed, but it's to that rate that she's just on writing. It's been 3 years, she's not stopping. Now that's what something perseverance and self-difference do. Now I have a question, Rather, you can ask this question to people.
So, what's that one fear that you would like to overcome? I would love to hear your response in the comment section. That one fear that you would like to overcome. And then, of course,
Let me give you the definition of fear. FEAR. False evidence appear real. There was a survey done, which Tony, when we attended his workshop, they shared that in our life, 99% of the fear that we actually get scared of never turns out to be truth. It's false. Okay, that's the truth of life. So something that I feel so real actually is not there. It appears real. It's not in real. Now that is what fear means.
and of course, I would love to end this session by one of the most beautiful quotes on fear, which obviously comes from our professional
Tony
venture.
Robbins.
It's life is a dance between desire and fear. Life is a dance between desire and fear. Where you spend most of your time defines the destiny of your life. We both have chosen to stay in the desire and are really living an amazing, happy,
And
fulfilled life.
if you really want more, we had an amazing workshop that we had last week on how to handle your negative emotion, and that helped so many people. So if you want, it's there on YouTube. Please go out and see that, because that will help you a lot. So once again, thank you so much, each one of you, for being here, and see you again on next Friday on
How
How to
to
Ace